Welcome to INS, the International News Service, your source for the most important weird news from across the globe. With news analyst Kevin Harrison, actor, comedian, and musician Mike Wiebe, and professional commentator Brian Camp. INS, the news you need.
If we don't know anything, that will ensure we ask the right questions for the listener, because they don't know anything either.
That?
We're just thorough.
Are you wait, hold on. Are you saying our listeners don't know anything, Brian?
I'm saying that, of course, they don't know anything. That's about a guest. That's the whole point of bringing a guest. And they are of dubious taste.
I mean, they do listen to this podcast.
Well,
Right,
okay. All right.
I think they get a lot from it.
Name one thing.
News.
Right. A smug sense of superiority to the four of us, probably.
Well, I mean, I think that they probably get a lot of, real DIY kind of house tips, like do-it-yourself style house tips,
All the stuff you can do with the lemon juice.
Real DIY kind of like, how, like life hacks. I say we provide life hacks to people.
Like, name one.
How to get blood out of your dungarees.
Little club soda, right, Mike?
A lot of club soda
And salt.
I think it depends on the amount of blood.
Mm-hmm.
and eliminate all the people who saw the blood.
Oh,
Right.
true. That is the most important step.
Well, that's what makes it a real hack, right?
Yeah, a hack and slash. Take that.
I think the puns are a big deal too for the
No,
listener.
I don't do puns. I do wordplay.
Oh, sure.
It's called
different.
wordplay,
Wordplay.
and it's actually pretty cool the way I do it.
Like Scrabble or more like Boggle?
Wordle. Y'all into that Wordle shit?
I played it a couple times to see what the big deal was.
Is that a Pokemon or a Yu-Gi-Oh character?
It's this word game. It's the hottest shit right now. As the local trend spotter, the guy with his ear to the ground of all things current. I'll tell you, there's this game called Wordle, and it's kind of like Hangman, sort of like Hangman. If you've ever played that game, only unfortunately it doesn't have the same capital punishment,
high stakes. Yeah.
high stakes of death involved in the word game. But it's very popular right now. Everybody kind of shows how quickly it takes them to, it's 5 lines and it's a 5-letter word, and you just guess you're just a free guess is the first one. And then it shows you all the letters you got right in the correct place and all the letters that you got. I don't need to explain this anymore.
You're explaining the bonus round of Wheel of Fortune.
No, it's not unlike Plinko, though. Deceptively, one of the harder prices right.
Well, yeah, because you can't determine where it's going to go, right? You drop it and hope.
You can put some spin on that disc, I think.
Yeah. A lot of people have committed suicide after a bad Plinko game. They have a lot of counselors that talk you out of it. That's the main thing they have to do on the PIR.
The PIR stands for
Price is Right.
Price is Right. That's right.
Hosted by
Bob
Bob
Barker.
Barker.
Drew Carey.
Oh, well, yeah.
Bob Barker, he got caught doing some of those spay and neutering stuff on his own, and he did not have a license. But he thought, I've been talking about it so much, I might as well learn it. And he just, it was a cruelty to animal charge. I mean, in his defense, he was really trying to, put his money where his mouth is when it comes to making sure animals are infertile.
He just enjoyed the fact of the idea of robbing a pet of its ability to procreate and knowing that he was the one responsible for it.
Yeah. He liked the idea of extinguishing bloodlines.
What is it? What are the cats that have thumbs? What kind of cats are those?
Polydactyl.
Isn't there like a specific breed that has
Well, no.
like a Manx cat? Is it a Manx?
No, Manx don't
Manx?
have tails.
Oh, they don't have tails. Can you still get those?
Yeah, polydactyl. They just call them polydactyl.
Numerous toes, like a pterodactyl.
Yes, they actually are in relation to pterodactyls because they're afraid one more toe, those cats will be able to fly or at least glide.
Yeah, they are called polydactyl. They're not a specific breed, but they were
Right,
Hemingways.
Who was right? Who was right?
I don't know what we were talking about.
It was
I've
Mike.
lost track.
Yep, that's right.
But they were Hemingway's favorite cats.
I knew that one. I was right about that.
Hemingway was like a notorious, like, fucking drunk, right?
Yeah, he drank a lot. I think. Yeah.
I always wonder if that quote was a shortened version of the quote that they were always Hemingway's favorite cats to kick.
Ouch.
Yeah, it would hurt if you got kicked by Hemingway.
I think maybe he just related to the cats more than humans. Maybe that was the issue. He just.
I wonder what Phoenix would have to say about this.
Who knows what people.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He's polydactyl, probably.
I'm polydactyl on every limb, if you know what I mean.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
You know what I'm saying? It's ribbed for her pleasure. You know what I'm saying? You try to fuck with me, Hemingway, you're going to get your fucking house burned down and all your manuscripts about fishing or whatever. Fuck you, old man.
It does sound like a Florida cat.
You fuck with me and I'll fuck with you right back.
Florida human in a cat costume.
Phoenix doesn't play. You think because a cat can dance, it means he doesn't know how to defend himself? Well, this cat fucking has claws, and this cat can bite. I'll fucking rip your scrotum open. Let your balls roll out onto the floor. Don't think I haven't done it before.
Maybe this is why Hemingway was a notorious asshole. Maybe
Is a Phoenix?
maybe he got his scrotum ripped open by a human in a cat costume wearing silver tap shoes, I think.
You pull a shotgun on me, I'll fucking shove it up your ass. And I'll pull the goddamn trigger. I don't care how cute your daughters are. Granddaughters, whatever. I saw her in Star 80. She was fine, whatever. Do you know Eric Roberts, though? Because I would like to talk to him. What a Hemingway. He wrote, what is that book he wrote about the guys fighting the big fish?
Man and Sea?
Yeah.
I was thinking of Jaws.
Yeah, he wrote that. I think
That was
him.
Peter Benchley.
Farewell to Arms. That was Hemingway. The Sun Also Rises.
To have and have not.
The Aristocrats.
Yep. Wrote that.
You guys ready to get started here? Phoenix, you ready to get started?
Fuck yeah.
What are we doing?
Welcome to the International News Service. We're your hosts. I'm Kevin Harrison, along with...
I am Brian Camp.
The high energy Brian Camp. We're all low energy today. I'm very low energy today too. Are we all on the low energy spectrum?
Little low energy.
I expect every sentence that comes out of my mouth to trail downward as I finish it.
That's what Hemingway did after he got fucking his balls mutilated.
That's right.
I'll fucking cut your scrotum off. I'll do you like Bob Barker tried to do to me. You hairy fucker.
Now I'm just imagining Bob Barker living in his Hollywood mansion with several servants dressed like cats roaming around the house that he just would beat and torture.
Hemingway says he's barrel chested. I call it being a fat fucker. How about that? How about that?
Who are you?
Phoenix.
No, I mean, who's playing Phoenix?
Oh.
I'm glad that after 2 years.
Phoenix is taking over from Mike Wiebe tonight.
Oh, good.
Oh, no.
I'm here for the whole fucking night.
Got a story to go along with this, but let's get Mark introduced.
Oh, down there, it's the choreographer. He can do it all. He can sing. He can dance. He can direct a show. He can direct the dancers of the show. He's a wonder on the piano. He has directed most of the performances that I have been involved in, and he has also been personally responsible for paying the bill for me to burn down a house full of living children. It's Mark Ryan.
Thank you. Phoenix, you're the best.
I know.
Wow. That's the most praise that Mark has ever delivered to anyone.
Phoenix is my favorite character.
Praise be to where praise is due.
That says a lot about you, Mark. I don't know.
So I almost did a story tonight, and I changed my mind at the last minute because it didn't really have an ending. Apparently, some parent showed up to a school board meeting in Michigan, complaining that they had a bathroom for furry students that was just a litter box. And she was ranting and raving about that, and it was really just to get attention for the fact.
I know her. That's fucking Clarice. She's always into something or whatever, trying to shoehorn her way into the community. But I'm like, you know what? Fuck you.
But it was really just her trying to get her argument against a mask mandate to go viral. So she kept going back to this. They got this furry bathroom where it's just a litter box, and the kids go in there when they want to be cats.
Yeah, she's a dumb cunt, is what she is.
Phoenix.
And I don't listen. I don't say that lightly. She is. I'm done with her bullshit. I'm telling you. And hey, I'm serious as a heart attack. I'm done. I'm done with it. Phoenix has spoken.
So instead of that story, our first story comes to us from the BBC.
Oh, the Bad Boys Club.
Bad Boys Club.
A Travelodge hotel in Cambridge, England, was in a bit of a crisis last month when its robot vacuum escaped. After the vacuum escaped via the front door, the assistant manager of the hotel said, quote, "They normally sense the lip at the entrance and turn around, but this one decided to make a run for it."
Y'all ever seen those videos of me sitting on one of those things and it just rolls around the house? It's adorable. One of them went viral.
What do you mean viral?
I got syphilis in New Orleans.
If you're going to get it, that's probably the place to do it.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, did it hurt? Yes. Was it worth it? Also, yes.
So when you say robotic vacuum cleaner, is this like a Jetsons Rosie robot?
Like a
or is
Roomba.
this- Oh, a Roomba?
Yeah, like a Roomba.
Okay, so not sentient.
That's what I was talking about. Y'all seen pictures of me or somebody else just sitting on one of them Roombas that goes around. We're just sitting there going, what the heck is happening? What?
It spins around.
Spins around. Well, I don't get dizzy. If they fuck with me, I will put them on fire, though.
The vacuum had been missing for about 15 minutes before staff realized its absence, and the assistant manager said he assumed that it had been stolen.
How is this a story?
What do you mean?
So for 15 minutes, something...
They realized, after 15 minutes, they realized it was gone.
Okay. This just seems like if this was written in the 70s, it would be a story because, oh man, a robot vacuum cleaner. But this is just a story about somebody misplacing something, right?
This is England in today, which is like America in the 70s.
Mm.
It's like when you go to a party and you're hanging out and everybody wants to talk to you and you get like a cocktail, you drink like a White Russian, and then you're just like, you know what, this party kind of fucking sucks, and you just fucking go. And they call it an Irish goodbye, and that's what that robot did.
Yes.
The staff said it just kept going and, quote, could be anywhere, while well-wishers on social media hope the vacuum enjoyed its travels as, quote, it has no natural predators in the wild.
If it runs into me, I'll fuck it up, though. I'm a natural predator to everything. Hey, you know what? I forgot. I got a thing I got to go to, so I'm going to peace out, you fucking dorks. Fuck y'all.
Bye, Phoenix.
Hey guys, it's Mike. I'm back.
Where you
Mike.
been?
I was getting ready, just getting the water, getting some stuff in here.
You missed most of the first story. I only have a
Yeah, I'm
paragraph
fucking
left.
I come in here and my couch is on fire.
That sounds alarming.
Yeah, I got it out though. I just threw most of the big gulp that I was drinking on it.
Right. Club soda and what is it? Salt. I'll put a fire
That's
out.
not how you put a fire out.
Sure, it is. Club soda and salt.
What do you call that?
Hey, that's a life hack, Mike.
Oh yeah. Well, we do those for sure.
We do those, yeah.
So fortunately, a hotel staff member found the vacuum under a hedge the next day. The hotel reported that it was dusted off and, quote, is now back sitting happily on the shelf with the rest of its robot vacuum family.
I feel like this is I feel like all of our time has been wasted with this story.
Yep.
Like just this, the story is something was misplaced and then found the next day.
Yeah.
That's it. Like that could be the headline.
That's something that happens to me literally every hour on the hour.
Right.
It's my keys, my phone, or my wallet. You could just have a whole fucking newspaper devoted to my forgetfulness.
Pets do this all the time. People writing articles about that. Pet walks out the door, it's found the next day.
Yeah, cat walks out a door, is found next to a burning mansion,
right.
Tap dancing and swearing at people in a effete Southern accent. You open up any paper, you're going to read that story in the human intersection.
It should at least be the threshold for an article like this to be written. I just don't. I'm confused by the newsworthiness of this story. I think that the BBC, once a proud news organization, has really let us and the world down because they claim to be a worldwide news source, and they've written a story about something accidentally going out of a door and being found the next day close to the door.
Well, yeah, it's not the kind of thing we would cover on our news source would cover.
Well, no, we have to cover it. We're being forced to by the BBC.
Yeah, we have to. Here's the thing is I don't think that the person that wrote this story is a bad boy.
No, this isn't a bad boy.
I feel like they're a soft boy at best. Maybe they're even a fucking good boy.
Is that soft with a T or just soft and then apostrophe?
I don't know how they do it in England. I don't know how they spell anything there.
Probably a U in it.
They put O's and U's in everything incorrectly.
It ends in an E.
Yeah, it is a farce.
Is there a way that this story was pitched to the editor? Is there a way that
I'd imagine someone came in and this is, I don't know. I'm guessing all the bad boys were out, throwing bottles at buggy cars driving by.
Yeah.
And, just like playing some game that involves throwing rocks at each other. And then, some little fucking fancy lad.
Like a newsy looking kid.
Newsy looking, big, oversized newsy cap, suspenders, the pants come about right under his rib cage. And he comes in, he's like, Sir, oh, please, sir, I have the most brilliant story for you. Oh, you're going to love it. It's about a robot. And the robot went on a crazy adventure. It was ever so fun, this robot strolling around the town all to itself, but it was supposed to be vacuuming. Oh dear. And the paper editor was just like, oh, what is this guy? What is this rubbish? Where me bad boys? Where me bad boys? And then he looked out the window, and like all the bad boys were, they were chasing women with their big bare breasts exposed, and they'd go into a hall, but then all of a sudden the women would be chasing them, and someone would get hit with a frying pan, and it was just a whole thing.
Did they sometimes go into one door but exit out a different door? As though they were connected, but they weren't really connected.
Oh yeah, they were going at different doors.
Sure.
And at some point, a giant monkey starts chasing all of them.
What?
Yeah. At one point, were they chasing someone who was chasing them?
This is a way better news story. What Mike is describing.
Well, the news story. So this news story is what happens if you read
This is why we got this story.
If you read a children's book about a fun robot thing happening, and you said, this story needs to be more realistic, this is what you would write. Object leaves by accident, object found.
Right.
Thanks, Britain.
Yeah. Great job. You guys are doing a real good job over there. Real fucking good job.
I guess nothing else of import is happening in the UK.
Wait. What? Who won the Revolutionary War? I'm trying to remember.
I like that started out as a kind of a British accented question, and then
that's good storytelling because we also started with British accents. We don't have any more. Do you know why? Because that war Mike was just talking about, I know who won it. Do you know who won it, Mark?
I know who won it. I know who won it too. Do you know who won it, Mark?
For the listener, Mark is vigorously shaking his head up and down. In the affirmative.
Canada.
You son of a bitch. Canada didn't win nothing. They almost did.
They burned the White House in the War of 1812.
Yeah. That's how close they got. It's like then they scratched on the 8-ball. Suckers. Now all they got's maple syrup.
Yeah. You're always scratching at the 8-ball. Nobody knows the reason why. We got social distortion in this fucking country. You guys wish you had fucking social distortion in England.
I mean,
Wish.
they sell the records there.
They in British, it fucking burns them up every. It burns. You know where's the big music cap? Mike fucking Ness, brother.
Can you say all of that again?
He does.
I think that needs to stay exactly the way we heard it because it was punctuated properly, and I like the idea of the listener writing their own story of American dominance, not over the world, mind you, because we're an international show, but certainly over the UK.
My lines on this podcast are jazz, and sometimes it's what. In between the things I say, the things I don't say is where a lot of my real genius comes through.
Well, here in year 2, we'll probably get a lot more experimental. We'll do more of that stuff, just kind of, deconstructing what it is that you do.
Yeah.
What is it that you do again?
Well, you just heard. I mean, yeah.
The thing. Yeah.
I'm a reporter. I'm part of the news team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Grog doesn't bring coffee to anybody.
Yeah. Where is that fucker?
Little fucker.
Krog.
Yeah. That's my favorite character, Mark. the occasionally referenced intern.
So our next story brings us back to the United States.
Oh.
Where a young couple in
Thank God.
In Cottage City, Maryland, was delighted after months of house hunting. They found a 3-bedroom house for $50,000, less than the typical price in the area.
That's a bargain, right?
Yes.
That's what we call a good deal here in the States.
Well, they are in the States. They also would call it a good deal.
Yeah, but I'm speaking to our listeners who might not know that that's a phrase we use here.
Yeah, we
good
say
deal,
that's a good
bargain.
deal. Yeah, they probably never heard that in other countries.
Mm-mm.
They might not. We don't know. You don't know every country's nomenclatures over there. I don't even know if that word applies to this, but still.
On the night their offer was accepted, the couple got curious about why the house was so cheap and did some Googling. And that's when they discovered their new home had inspired the book and movie, The Exorcist.
The night their offer was accepted. Are we believing this? I'm sorry. This is that coincidentally, after they made an offer, after they were in some way contractually bound to purchase the home, that's when they found out information. That's when they decided to look this up.
You've done house hunting. It can be aggressive, and you get the right house, and you're just like, I don't fucking care.
Right. Well, then you got to drive down to the library to get on the terminal to use Google, right? So
get on the microfiche.
Yeah.
In 1949, a 14-year-old boy was said to be possessed by a demon in this house. Priests who visited the home claimed to have seen furniture mysteriously flip over as the teen screamed Latin phrases, which was a language he reportedly never studied. Ultimately, a Catholic priest performed an exorcism.
Nah, he's probably just singing Rammstein.
I don't think they had Rammstein in 1949.
I think they did. He was listening to fucking Third Reich tapes, probably. Du hast me.
I think things can be in German and not also associated with
scat play.
Well, I don't think that. I think that it has to be. We've heard about the grenade in Astroglide that we're fairly certain was
episode 18 or so
inserted in a lunchbox, right? Wasn't it found in a lunchbox by a cop near a train? I wonder if we need to update. I wonder if they ever found the culprit who threw away trash, the villain who littered.
Listen, we used to have a lot of grenade stories.
Yeah.
Ultimately, a Catholic priest performed an exorcism to drive the demon out of the boy. While this was going on, a student at nearby Georgetown University heard about it, and in 1971, he wrote the book The Exorcist. One of the co-owners said, quote, "Honestly, the first thing I thought was, oh God, this is going to tank our resale value. And then the next thought I had was, maybe I better rewatch that. Start learning more about what it is that we just bought. And also, I had no idea it was even based on a real story."
And the next thought I had was, boy, I'm getting kind of hungry. I wonder if there's an Arby's near where we live. And then the next thought I had was, remember that time on the Golden Girls when all the Elvis impersonators were there? And then the next time I thought was, I wonder how good these bathrooms are going to take a full load of Arby's after I get through with it, because I don't go light. I get the big Montana.
The 5 for $5. They still do the 5 for $5 at Arby's?
I get the 5 for $5 and I just chomp them all down myself. I think they imply that you're supposed to give it to your whole family, but nah, dog.
What does your family get?
Fuck them. They get possessed by the. Here's the thing. I was able to buy a house a couple years ago for the first time ever, and the first thing I said to our realtor was, if there are any murder houses that we can get for cheaper, please just front run us to that. Because I honestly, I don't believe that this house sold for less than it would have at any market value. I don't think anyone, I think other than maybe a few rare cases of like the most gnarly murder that just happened the week before, I don't think anybody cares. And that anybody would jump to get $50,000 off of a house, no matter what happened there.
Right.
Unless you're a nerd.
Hey, Mark, don't you have a story about this? Don't you know somebody who lives in a murder house?
Yes, my sister.
Did she do the murdering?
She was not involved in the murder, but
okay.
There has been many reports that there has been paranormal activity in that house since she's moved in.
The movie? Like on DVD?
Mm-hmm.
They watch it nonstop. It never gets old. Is it so? What constitutes paranormal activity?
Whenever they were moving, or right before they moved in, there was a guy in there doing some work on it, and he was staying there actually while I was doing like painting and stuff like that. And like he swore he heard people or things like moving around and sounds and things like that. And then my nephew, who still lives with his mother, lives there, and he apparently wakes up in the middle of the night and feels like somebody's sitting on his chest and has seen people, and which just sounds like sleep paralysis basically.
Yeah.
But he got real freaked out. Right. So
yeah, that's aliens. That's not ghosts. Mark, you might be a star child. Have you ever thought of that?
Many times.
Did your sister get a discount, a $50,000 discount on the house?
Yeah, she got a good deal on it.
She bought the house knowing that there had been a murder there.
Right.
Just prior to her buying the home?
Well, my parents knew the people who were murdered there.
Oh, okay.
It's right next door to my mom's house.
Did your parents have anything to do with that?
No, it was a pretty gnarly story, though. It's pretty sad, actually.
Was it a stranger murder or was it a domestic violence murder?
No, it's this older couple was living there, and their son, who had mental illness, stopped taking his meds and basically came over to their house and killed them both, stabbed them.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So it was just pretty awful.
What happened to the kid?
He's in prison.
About every 2 or 3 years, he escapes and comes back.
No, I think he might be. This was probably 6 or 7 years ago, maybe now. It was clear that he was, had mental health problems. So I think he's due to be released.
Well, there you go. He didn't know where else to go.
So did the realtor come at him and go like, okay, here's the deal. Is that how your parents lived next to them, right?
My parents lived next to them. After that happened, basically the other children were cleaning it out. Like my sister was on it. She's like, I want to buy that place.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
it's like checking the obituaries for deaths to go talk to the widow to see if you can get into somebody's collection of stuff.
Or get into her pants.
that too, Michael. That is also something you can do. So she realized that there was a deal to be made, and she pursued it.
Right.
Well, I think that's all right.
It's thrifty.
Your nephew might be haunted, but
Yeah.
have you been over there and have you ever experienced anything? Has there been a chill? Has there ever been a room that you just felt uncomfortable in? Was there ever a sound that was unexplained? Maybe you didn't pursue, but you still couldn't quite let it go?
Yeah. Did you ever lose your erection suddenly
That's right.
and for no reason?
Well, I don't think I've ever had an erection when I've been at that house.
Okay.
So not that I
But
can
at
recall.
other houses you have. But at other
yeah.
houses you have. I have to create the baseline. At
Right.
at other houses you have experienced it though.
Only at my house that I'm at right now.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Maybe
So
there's some
interesting.
sort of sense of power or a ley line running through your house.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A
But
sexual ley line.
Sexual ley line. Oh man, that sounds like a good plot for a book. Something about
Poor man's
sexual-
patent, poor man's patent, poor man's patent.
Sexual ley lines.
So did they work it out with, I guess, whoever owns the house at that point? Or was it like a trust?
The
or-
estate.
well, yeah. I mean, the
State.
kids or the one of the kids, I think, inherited it. So then they just sold it to my sister.
Yeah, they don't want the house, right?
No, they didn't want
I
it.
don't want to live in a murder hut.
It took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while to get it all that done. It was probably a year before they actually bought it and all that.
Do they know exactly where in the house things went down?
Yes.
And is that a weird thing? Or are they just kind of like used to it now?
You know, I'd have to ask them again. There's stories about like things like that, but like it was in the downstairs hallway. There's
Mhm.
you know, and they know exactly where it happened. But I mean, they were stabbed multiple times.
sure.
It was brutal. So it was pretty awful.
Well, I'm not saying this to be crass. I genuinely mean this, but it's typically like, I think at least when I've heard stories of hauntings, it's been like, this is as close to when it's someone who's suffering from a severe mental illness, has some sort of break because they get off their meds, and then I'm assuming becomes remedicated and is very aware of what they've done and is going to live with a kind of guilt that's difficult to imagine.
Mhm.
It's as close to an accidental death as you can come, right? There's no malice necessarily, except the malice
I think
of
so. I mean,
delusion.
the guy was clearly delusional and had some kind of crazy idea that his parents were out to get him, and so he was going to get them first or something like that. And I think from what I remember, he had been reading something online that if he takes some sort of supplement instead of his medications, that would do the trick and keep things under control or something stupid like that.
Yeah, that is always a bad idea, except for if you're doing alpha brain monkey mindset.
There we go. It's been a while since we've heard about that.
We will get to that in the bonus story.
Listen, yes, do not switch up your psychotropics, your SSRIs, unless you are, unless you have like fully, you're getting looked at by like Coach Casey or another qualified purveyor of the alpha brain
Coach
monkey
Casey is
mindset.
only in the
Working
bonus
in some
story.
urine. I love this.
Well, I'm just saying, like, Coach Casey knows. I mean, if you didn't listen to bonus episodes, that's why that's why you should be listening to them and get on the Patreon. But I'm serious, like you got to have like a Coach Casey or myself administering the right dosage of alpha brain monkey mindset pills at the right, at the correct time.
Mhm.
So, and you would agree with me, Mark. You don't have to say it out loud, but sure.
Oh, he's nodding vigorously again for the listener. Mark,
Yeah, I can see that. I can see
yet
that.
again nodding along.
So, but the paranormal activity there is not something that is it fairly benign if it happens?
Sitting on a chest is not. It seems like a lot.
Yeah, my nephew said he was freaked out and said there's weird energy going on in that house.
But is this also the end of the family that maybe believes some other things?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
My 5G nephew.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a 5Ger.
He was. I don't know where he's at on that at this point, but
He's suggestible. Is it fair to say that he's suggestible?
yeah. I also thought that they might be getting some carbon monoxide poisoning, which
yeah,
also
that might be
causes
something.
Also causes that same exact kind of thing. Can cause sleep paralysis or hallucinations.
You should go.
and
Have you
like
gone and checked?
I
for
told my
radon,
sister
or-
to.
No, she ain't going to do
but,
that. You told her to.
Also, and I will say this: if you drink too much water with the Alfred Brain Monkey Mindset pills, that can be also a thing because you don't want to. You really need to. You need to, and you should do this anyway. Monitor your water intake and not take in too much.
I love that your plan relies on dehydration to work effectively.
No, it's not dehydrated. It's just there's everything in moderation, Brian. Everything in moderation,
including water in extreme moderation.
I mean, especially water.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say water is the source of life. Like, what you gonna drink so much you have 2 lives? A human body can't have 2 lives in it.
Cat has 9
That's
lives.
how that works.
Well, I mean, it's simple. It's simple, Yeah, I know you guys are big into this whole Western medicine, fucking voodoo nonsense, but maybe just take a few steps back into what our ancestors. Like they got by fine, like people like 100,000 years ago, like they were fucking fine. They were the healthiest people in the world.
Right. Noah lived like hundreds of years.
He lived hundreds of years.
That's right.
So I've got 2 more sentences left in this story.
Okay.
Wait, 3. The couple said they intend to embrace the house's haunted history, with one co-owner saying, quote, "I'm going to get a Catholic priest Halloween costume this year and get an amplified speaker and have the Exorcist soundtrack just playing on loop on our front porch for trick-or-treaters." However, they do have some reservations. When a friend asked if they could bring over a Ouija board, the couple said, "No way."
Well, that's smart thinking because, I think, along with the whole proliferation of communism in this country, making it okay. The biggest problem is Ouija boards. It's right below it. Ouija boards are probably I think I read somewhere that they are responsible for more deaths than car accidents as of now.
True. I've read that.
Yeah, I would definitely say to them, do not take a Ouija board into that house.
Don't take a Ouija board.
Do not take a Ouija board.
I think it's Parker Brothers.
The Parker Brothers?
Them too.
Yeah.
Them too. It's a whole cabal that Parker Brothers, Milton Bradley, they all go to fucking sex magic seances and shit and roll around buck naked, covered in,
Bohemian Grove.
And, yeah, it's very Bohemian Rhapsody Grove and shit like that.
Oh,
I mean,
Mark is holding up a Ouija
Mark's
board.
holding up a Ouija board.
William Fold, Mystifying Oracle.
Bottom
Parker Brothers,
Parker Incorporated.
Salem, Massachusetts.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Big surprise. That's
There
where
you
that
go.
comes from.
Oh, we're still not supposed to believe in the witches. What was it? They wanted to expunge the records. They wanted to retroactively clear the
Right, suddenly
name
remembering all our stories.
of a witch. Look, I'm trying to say, if you've been convicted of being a witch, you're probably a witch, right?
Uh-huh.
Come on, but I can't use my common sense.
I know that you don't believe in mass hysteria, so it must be real.
It's not that I don't believe in mass hysteria. I just don't think it's an explanation for everything that you find inconvenient.
Yeah. Did we already make a joke that it was, a truth that it was mass hysteria is just a fucking remix of that Def Leppard record?
Pyromania? Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah.
Well,
They got somebody with 2 arms to play. It sounds totally different.
yeah, it sounds totally different.
I hate to be a one-armed drummer right now.
Yeah. He's dead. So.
What?
I think-
No, he's still alive.
No, he died. Like, you only live, if you lose an arm, you've got maybe 10 years left.
If
People
that.
don't live long after that. That's why they rushed to put those records out.
There's no coming back from that. Yeah.
No,
Tell me a World War II vet that's alive right now.
Yeah.
There's like 4 of them.
Case closed.
If that.
Case closed.
The curse of World War II.
Well, and that's why you're a reporter, Mike. That's why we got you around.
True.
They have to disclose that before some. They do have to disclose that legally, right? That there's been a murder or a.
Every
But this
state's
wasn't
different.
a murder. This was just
Yeah, you don't have to disclose. Yeah, like even then, like in Texas, if there's a murder in your house, you don't have to disclose it. It depends on each state. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised that it being the Exorcist house wouldn't make somebody go, "Well, I could turn it into a museum." And raise the price.
But it's
Right.
not. I mean, it's like
The Exorcism Museum.
It's also like that story's not like as crazy as a fucking as the movie or anything like that. You
Right.
know, it's probably, the house is probably not cool like on the top of those stairs with awesome lighting and
Yeah, no.
fucking,
Right.
There's no furniture flying around either.
You got to change the carpet.
Do you think? But you know what I would do if I was ever there? I would just walk out and piss on the floor like Reagan did.
Edgy.
And if anyone got mad, I'd be like, "Pwah. I gotta check your source material, fuckers."
Right.
Sure somebody wasn't in the bathroom?
I never thought about that.
She just couldn't
Yeah.
hold it.
Yeah.
She was a child, but she was old enough, I think, to otherwise, if not for the influence of dark forces, she probably could have held it.
When I was a little kid, I always thought The Exorcist was about the devil, but it's not about the devil at all. It's a demon named Pizza Zoo.
The zoo?
Pizza.
That's
Little
that's
Caesars?
an attraction I'd go to. A pizza zoo.
There should be more like hell-themed restaurants.
Are there any?
Yeah, it's always like a food cart, and it's shitty pizza, and they play death metal.
So our next story comes to us from Kotaku, or some people say it Kotaku, but that just sounds wrong to me.
I think it's Kotaku.
Yeah, I think it's Kotaku. I think you're right. It's a video game news site, Brian.
It's
'cause I know
probably
you're gonna
Kotaku.
ask. The Italian Senate recently held a roundtable on data transparency, which featured among its speakers recent Nobel Prize-winning physicist Giorgio Parisi.
What did he win the Nobel Prize for? For some background, some context.
It has to do with the interactions between like quantum systems and atomic systems and like microsystems and macro systems and like the interrelationship of all those systems at once.
You gotta make it a system to get to connect together. All the systems, they're gonna fall apart. You don't want all the systems to fall apart. A quantum, a micro, a macro, a silicone. And then they give me the Nobel Prize and they say, here you go. And I say, let's have some pizza pie to celebrate.
Yep, sounds right.
So now I'm going to make you a video game. And in the game, you're going to have to make it the biggest pizza of all time. But if you don't make it a quick, yes, a little, how you say, a little gremlin. He's going to come and bite you on your butt. So you got to make it a pizza pie real quick.
The meeting, which had both live and remote participants, ran smoothly for the first half hour. But as Giorgio Parisi was being introduced, the call was hijacked by video of Final Fantasy VII porn. The video itself was anime and featured Final Fantasy VII's...
Oh, Tifa, why you let a cloud do that to you? He don't even respect you. Oh, no, now a 7, the genetically modified dog is getting involved.
It did feature Final Fantasy VII's Tifa Lockhart having sex.
Oh, her father gonna be a mad, and he only have and one of his hands has a gun on it, and he's gonna shoot his gun up in the air and go, ah, this is my daughter. Get out of here with you, Cloud. Get out of here with you, 7.
The senator hosting the event continued speaking over the video until someone could be heard yelling "sex offender" in Italian.
A sex offender, a Sephiroth. Oh, Sephiroth, you are the bad guy.
Italian for sex offender is
Sephiroth.
traspirante sessuale.
No, that's a character from Final Fantasy IX. He's the guy who runs the inn called the Worm's Lair.
So, how do you spell worm?
WYRM.
Yeah.
How else would you spell it?
Just making sure that we're on brand. I have a question.
Yes.
Why did he yell? I mean, I have several, I guess, but why did he yell "sex offender"? Like,
It's
was
just
the
kind of
idea
like,
that this guy was doing it on purpose, and was it accusatory? Was it?
I think it was part of like his sentence, and that's just the part that stuck out. Like he was going like, whoever's doing this is, and then you heard sex offender like over kind of the growing rumble of people like freaking out about watching Final Fantasy VII porn in an official setting.
Is fan-made anime porn a crime in Italy? Have we looked into that? Has our research team looked into that for us?
Depends if you got the pass from a capo.
Yeah, true.
That also checks out.
I want you to bring me this Cloud Strife. Bring me the air pirate guy that walks around with a big staff that's dressed in the purple. What's his name? I forget his name. And bring the orange dog too. Bring them before me with their cocks in their mouths. As a warning to any other animated characters that my daughter is not to be defiled.
So, after about 30 seconds of scrambling, the senator was able to disconnect the video feed, but then the audio feed continued for a few more seconds. The whole thing was broadcast live via Senato TV, which is Italy's equivalent of C-SPAN.
I'm on a C-SPAN diet. I C-SPAN, I eat it.
What?
By pan, he means panicelli.
Several people blamed hackers, but it's unclear exactly what transpired or who did it. Nevertheless, the senator hosting the event said she hoped the culprits would be punished.
There's some 15-year-olds shaking their boots right now for, Ooh, we're going to punish you for having a hilarious prank work. No, I've never played a Final Fantasy game.
Well, that sucks because I was dropping a lot of awesome references.
I could tell. It took me a while to figure it out.
You know, hopefully some of our listeners will have a good background in PlayStation 1. Are we sure that this wasn't literally just the video game?
Yeah, no, it was. There's no porn in the video game.
Was it made using the actual game, or does somebody just take those images and animate those separately?
Yes, in the business we call that the engine. Use the Unreal Engine.
I could only find one. I could only find like a censored still from it. I couldn't find the actual video they were watching.
There wasn't any way to uncensor it, so we could look at it and see.
No. Once something's censored, Mike, you can't find it in its original form anywhere. That's the point of censoring something. It becomes blocked forever.
What about XXX double image search?
That might work. There's a gentleman, I think he's in prison in Japan right now, but apparently he's really good at unscrambling pornographic images. Also a callback to a previous episode.
Well, wow. He made deep fakes of those. He didn't unscramble them.
Well, I would watch a deep fake of anime porn.
Yeah, I would too.
It would be the exact same thing, right?
I would too.
Yes.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I don't think it'd have to be a deep fake. It could probably be just barely a surface, and you probably could fake it.
Right.
Yeah, it would be super hard to make an anime woman's face look like another anime woman's face. How you couldn't do that? You would there would be an uncanny valley, and you would just go like,
"It's just not quite right, is it, Mike?"
Yeah, that's you say that's Tifa Lockhart, but it looks more like Cheryl Evangelion.
Is this the kind of thing that we need to put the call out to the tremendous listeners of INS?
Yeah, somebody in the hacker community that listens to the show could maybe reach out and find and nail down some of this evidence of this thing and send it into my DM me, which means direct message. DM me
on Twitter.
At Mike Wiebe. DM me as soon as possible. Like
you can investigate.
I'll hopefully by the end of the night. But
so our last story is a bonus story.
Bonus.
So if you want to hear it, go to our Patreon and subscribe it for at least $3 to the Knights of Kevin level, or I forget what Mike's level is called, but you can subscribe there as well. and you'll get access to all our bonus stories. I will give you a little taste, though.
Oh,
This next story comes to us from the
Taste.
Denton Record Chronicle.
oh shit! The paper of Denton,
DRC.
That's
the
right.
DRC.
It will no doubt lead to some debate over who went to the toughest junior high school, and there may
It's
be
not
some
a debate.
There may be some alpha monkey mind talk in this next story as well.
Okay, well,
Brian loves that.
That's
I
interesting.
do. I love everything and everyone.
Well, that wraps up another week of the International News Service. Find us across social media at International News Pod. Email us at internationalnewspod@gmail.com. The next time you take over the video feed during a government meeting, be sure to spam it with our podcast. Check out the INS merch store at Redbubble and our Patreon. We'll see you next week.
Mamma mia!
Thank you for listening to the International News Service. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. INS, the news you need.